Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we head to the start of the round of 8 for the Southern 500 at Darlington Raceway, the trickiest, hardest, most difficult oval on earth, and it kicks off a new round of the playoffs. We've got some throwback schemes you'll see in the background of the updated playoff grid. 8 drivers remain across 3 races to set 4 positions to fight for a championship, and we come in at the top with a 33-point advantage, and all the way at the bottom, Connor Zilic at 9 points below the cut line. Carson Hocevar won 2 of the round of 12 races, really building up his playoff points, and that has put him in a pretty favorable position. Even though below the cut line, he's way better than what he would have been coming into this round without those 2 wins. We have a throwback on the car as well. It's a Kyle Larson Target throwback paint scheme that we're using from the 2017 season. Of course, Larson being one of my favorite drivers. Of course, I was a huge fan of his through the 42 car days, and this was always one of my favorite paint schemes on that number 42 car that he ran. I always get asked, who's your favorite drivers? I got 3 drivers I cheer for: Daniel Suarez, Kyle Larson, and Shane Van Gisbergen, and then I have like an honorary Denny Hamlin as well. Excited for this weekend. We come in as a top seed. Darlington, it always goes one way or another. It either goes really good and we're fighting for a win, or it's a complete disaster. We're hoping to to avoid the complete disaster. This was the race last season that lost us the championship in the Final Four round. We're hoping to avoid that. Of course, we have 3 races in the Final Four, but in this round of 8, we have Darlington, but as well, we have a road course mixed in with Watkins Glen, so that's going to really spice things up. And then, of course, we end the round at Martinsville Speedway, the paperclip. Some silly season news, maybe a bit unfortunate and positive at the same time. Chandler Smith confirmed out from Joe Gibbs Racing, as that seat will go to Jesse Love. But, however, he is rumored right now to be potentially taking the seat at Trackhouse that our teammate Carson Hocevar was originally signed on to take, as it looks like Trackhouse and Hocevar are pretty well agreeing that it's not going to work out. We're waiting for official confirmation on that, but it does look like, in fact, Hocevar is staying here, and I imagine once that gets sorted, we'll know as well if Connor Zilic is going to be coming to Junior Motorsports or not. So just a few more dominoes to fall before we really know what this team roster will look like, going into Season 6 of this career mode. Now we jump in to qualifying here from Darlington Southern 500. We go Next Level Racing on board. Use code GOIN25 with my referral link in the description. If you're in a USA viewer, you get a 5% discount on all Next Level Racing products now, so use that down below as we head out of Turn 2, down this back straightaway in towards Turn 3, and felt fairly not confident after 1 and 2. It wasn't a great series of corners. 3 and 4 as well, not great. Just kind of screwed up the corner out of Turn 4. Decent exit down the front straightaway. A goal of a 29.6. We had a 29.7. 1/10 off, and that puts us buried in the midfield. P17. As we look for our final 8 competitors. Hocevar right there with me. Blaney and as well Bell, Zilic, Bowman. Round of 8 drivers, all top 4. Zilic with a great effort. Ryan Blaney, of course, has the most stage wins of anybody this season. 2 race wins. He comes in 3rd in the standings to kick off this round of the playoffs. As you see the rest of your finishing order. Denny Hamlin in the field today in that 30th spot. Parker Retzlaff rounds out the grid. This is such a difficult and important race. It's going to be interesting to see how it really plays out. Only Craftsman Truck Series action in racing this weekend in Darlington. Cassidy Keat wins the first race of the Truck Series Final 4 and beats her competitors of Tanner Gray, Daniel Hemrick, and Josh Williams, who all didn't quite get finishes they would have preferred, but they at least keep the championship within reach. Looking at the Final 4 Truck Series grid, Keat leads by 9 points over Tanner Gray, 10 points over Hemrick, and 18 points over Josh Williams. Amazon Prime Series off this weekend. We're going straight into Cup Series action here for the first race of our round of 8 from Darlington Southern 500 weekend.
Here we are then from Darlington Raceway for the start of the round of 8. 4 drivers will be eliminated and 4 will fight for a championship following these next 3 races.
And this round could go any way, Lee. I wouldn't be shocked at any of these drivers being eliminated.
So then, not exactly where we want to be lining up. Of course, P17, we've got some work to do. Briscoe's been struggling all weekend. How about William Sawalich? Apparently, he's been dominant all weekend, although he didn't really qualify the best. We'll see what he can maybe put up here in the race. Ryan Blaney on pole position now as we are ready to kick off the round of 8 here now for the third round of the Cup Series playoffs. 4 spots up for grabs. Who's gonna maybe get one tonight? Now, of course, winning puts you in. We're racing here from the Southern 500. Ryan Blaney and Christopher Bell lead the way down into turn 1. A pair of Toyotas now as we line up behind our part-time teammate of Carson Kvapel. There you see that throwback number 3 of Austin Hill going backwards right off the bat on the exit of turn 2. Here comes Eric Jones to fill up my rear view mirror. Carson Hocevar right there on the outside. Carson Hocevar is a prime example, I think, of someone that is really taking advantage of the format of the playoffs, and we've seen this in 2022. Joey Logano got hot at the right time after, nothing special in the regular season and wins the championship. In real life 2023, of course, it was different in the career mode, but Ryan Blaney got hot at the right time after, not an incredible regular season, wins the championship. Carson Hocevar was the last driver in the playoffs, and he was the only one to make it on points. He was actually top 10 in the standings, but he is getting hot at the right time. He's won 2 races in the last 3, and he's looking quick tonight. He's already passed 4, 5, 6 cars as we're looking to the inside of the 9 of Chase Elliott, who comes in 6 points below the cut line, and right now isn't looking so hot. Of course, Tyler Reddick holding that last advancement spot into the Final 4, and we see him just a few car lengths up ahead right now as Blaney continues to lead early on here from Darlington as we head down into turn 3, looking to get past this number 9. That 18 Kyle Busch throwback on Chandler Smith's Toyota, not looking fast tonight like Kyle Busch. Of course, the speed he would find in those M&M's cars was a lot more than that, and Chandler Smith going in the wrong direction after a strong qualifying effort. Speaking of Kyle Busch, now actually passing Kyle Busch here for 13th position on lap 4 coming to lap 5. This is such a long race here from Darlington. 39 laps just in stage 1, 128 laps total, one of the longest races of the season as we continue to work our way forward to the inside of Tyler Reddick. So some round of 8 drivers not looking so quick are Reddick and Elliott right off the bat. Here comes William Byron behind us. He was eliminated in the last round. He had everything go wrong, of course. Finally ran good in the Roval, but just had too many issues to overcome for that 24 team, and it's just another season of disappointment for William Byron. 1 win, of course, on the season for the 24. He, of course, is looking to maybe get 2, maybe 3 before the year's over, but just not, again, been a great season for that 24 team now as we have run down Connor Zilic, another round of 8 driver outside the top 10. Christopher Bell, who started P2, is outside of the top 10. So we have got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 round of 8 drivers outside of the top 10 right now, including myself. So not what you expect to see in the round of 8. I mean, this is when everyone really needs to step up to the plate and perform. And right now, over half of the round of 8 is not performing in stage 1, including myself. Now, here's one advantage that we do have, though, is we come in 33 points above the cut line, and we have other final 8 drivers struggling. So if we struggle, then it's not going to be the end of the world. But caution actually comes out for the first time today. Alex Bowman has got the lead from Ryan Blaney, he's dropped to 8th. The front row starting drivers really struggling here as we'll get a replay of what just happened, and it's actually going to be Parker Retzlaff for GMS there blowing a right front into the outside wall. Caution flies, everybody pits for 4 tires and fuel. We gain 2 spots in the pits. Carson Hocevar actually had a really poor pit stop, so he gets put backwards a little bit now as we go back racing here from Darlington, side by side with Christopher Bell up to P11 with 23 laps to go. This is right on the fuel window. We can go about 23 laps on a fuel tank in this car, so it's going to be close, and I'll be interested to see if anyone, maybe comes up short of making it to the end of the stage. But nonetheless, alongside last episode winner from the Charlotte Roval round of 12 eliminator, Shane Van Gisbergen. What a drive at the end of that race, of course, putting pressure on the back of Chris Buescher to the point where he, blew a tire, spun around in that back straightaway chicane, and that was all SVG needed. He was able to hold off Connor Zilic, who would have loved to pick up 5 more playoff points to get his second win of his Cup Series career and of the season to come into this round of 8. But Connor Zilic, the bottom driver in the round of 8, 9 points out. Be interesting to see what he can do here from Darlington, but then as well Martinsville, Watkins Glen, all these upcoming 2 races after tonight. It'll be really interesting to see what he can do. So now trying to fight with this 24 of William Byron, can't quite make it happen as we hit the awkward exit of 2 bump, and it shoots us into the outside wall. We damage the right side of the car. Through goes Kvample, and here comes the 0-0 now of Zilic, and as well we tag the outside wall again. Through goes Radek and Kyle Busch as well. Here comes Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell filling up my rear view mirror, and just like that we've thrown probably any chance of stage points that we had away in this first stage now, because we continue to go backwards looking for a chance to get down to the bottom. Here comes Hocevar trying to work his way back forward after a poor pit stop. Now we slide on the exit of 2. Through goes Jesse Love, eliminated in the last round. Same for Chastain, who's going up my inside. He was eliminated in that round of 12 of the playoffs. Now we dropped to 19th position, and we finally get an opportunity to jump back down to the inside and start going back forward. And look at who's leading this race. The 43 Legacy Motor Club of William Sawalich. He is out in front controlling this race now as we clear the 33 of Love to the back of the 99 of Busch again. And I know at this point, like I said, stage points unlikely. It's just about trying to limit the damage and just try to go forward here before this stage is over to set us up really well for stage 2 to the inside of the 7 of Kvapel. Reddick, we're going to give a shot to the back bumper of that Monster Energy Toyota Camry. Reddick soon to be headed to Trackhouse, of course, following this season. Couple of wins on the season for Tyler Reddick. Of course, he signed a deal with Trackhouse fresh off of his once again winless season, and he hadn't won yet this season with 2311. I feel like he's regretting that deal, but that's the deal. He's going to Trackhouse now as we get back up to P14. Now running down 13th position of Connor Zilic here with 11 laps to go in the stage. Bubba Wallace in the outside wall, tire down, caution strikes for the second time in stage 1. This is going to bring everybody into the pits for 4 tires and feel again. I didn't want to make any adjustments on the car. I was actually pretty happy with the way the car was driving, so I decided, okay, we're not going to adjust it, but of course we're going to pit for tires, feel as well, and get ready to go back racing. So we'll be going for this next restart, and Hocevar again, bad pit stop. He loses 7 positions. He had just done all that work to go back forward, and now he's back to 15th, directly behind myself with less than 10 laps to go in the stage. Stage points so crucial in this round of 8, and Hocevar is throwing away some serious stage points now as William Sawalich leads us back to green as we're on the back of this 23 of Ryan Blaney. What a surprise there for him to start on pole and be outside of the top 10. Well, I say that he's outside, he's now back into the top 10. He's looking for P9. William Byron P10. SVG Shane Van Gisbergen having a nice top 10 run here as well. We're seeing a lot of surprise names up here in the top 10 that we don't usually see, in the top 5 as well, that we haven't really seen a lot of this season. Obviously, Sawalich leads. Corey Himes up there in the top 5, but he's shown a lot more promise later in this season as well. So Noah Gregson's up there in the top 5, and Hocevar is up to P11 already. Power move and gets through on myself. Here comes Denny Hamlin as well up the inside as we head down into turn number 3. We catch the outside wall again. No big deal on that one. We're able to just get the speed right back in the car. Fortunately now, when we get back down to the inside and start trying to go forward with a couple of laps to go, stage points out of the equation for us to the inside of the Excel Energy 23. Cool paint scheme on that 23 car made by DMoney Designs. As Sawalich continues to control with 2 to go, and we should clear this 23, putting us into P12, setting us up well for a pit stop now at the end of the stage to the final lap to the left rear of SVG on the exit of the corner, and Van Gisbergen keeps that momentum down the back straightaway. He should be able to hang on to P11. Nonetheless, how about this? A 43 William Sawalich off turn 4 down the front straightaway. He wins stage 1 in dominant fashion. Carruth in second. 3rd for Noah Gregson, 4th for Corey Heim. How about as well Carruth running great just after getting eliminated. There's some drivers that just got eliminated from the playoffs having great days. Carruth as well as the 24 inside the top 10. Everybody's going to pit for tires and feel, and not a lot of round of 8 drivers in the top 10 stage points paying positions. So we pit from P11, we gain 1 spot over SVG, who loses 2 spots. Blaney gets him as well. We're up to P11 for the start of stage 2. William Sawallich leads the way back to the green flag, and look at your live playoff updates there. We have given up points in. Everybody pretty well in the top 4 have given up points. We're 27 points to the good. Bell 17, Blaney 4, and then we have a tie currently for 4th between Reddick and Alex Bowman. Host of ours now only 2 points out. Elliott and Zillich 6 points, 9 points out for them too. They haven't really gone anywhere. So Chase Elliott really struggling early in this race. He's probably the worst of the round of 8 right now. So not a good start for this race for that number 9 as we continue down this front straightaway to complete lap 1 of stage 2. Denny Hamlin able to go through and take that 10th position from myself, and definitely just not having the speed that I want and expect to have at this point in the race. But what I really thrive, the environment I thrive in at Darlington is those long runs. I mean, that's the case for a lot of racetracks. I mean, there's some tracks I struggle on long runs, but Darlington is a track that I love, you know, long green flag runs at, and we haven't gotten that so far. So to see where we are at this point in the race wasn't really surprising as we drift up the track. Here comes Shane Van Gisbergen as I catch the outside wall across the nose of Sanchez, who runs into the back of us. He had nowhere to go, and now we've damaged the rear bumper, which is going to free up the car a little bit more, which, by the amount of times I've driven up into the outside wall, maybe that's a good thing at this point now. I mean, I have just made, 3 errors at least already in this race that have cost us, probably at least 10 positions so far, as now we work again on the 7, trying to settle back in. Around goes Ryan Preece. In turn 4, the 51 Rick Ware Racing driver brings out another caution, and we just cannot get any green flag running here today in Darlington. So we're all going to stay out because we're not in the field window. So the only one that's going to pit is, of course, that 51 of Ryan Preece. We'll get ready to go back racing again. I kind of needed that caution and just a little reset after hitting the wall, and of course the contact with the 26 of Nick Sanchez, who's having a great run, by the way, for Andretti Global and his Honda Civic now, as we have 30 laps to go here in stage number 2. So Wallach leads as I lean a little bit on the door of the 7, get off of him very quick. Corey Himes up there in the mix. He restarted P2. Host of ours moving his way forward again as we head down this back straightaway. Gibbs side by side with Van Gisbergen. Just there in my mirror, you got the 23 of Mulaney as we continue to roll through 3 and try to get into this top 10. There's Kyle Larson. We're running a throwback to Kyle Larson today. Does he feel old yet? I don't know. But as we exit turn 2 down this back straightaway, we have gotten to the back of the 5 and to the inside of the 5, who's been cleared by the 97. And Larson continues to face the reality that he might go winless for an entire Cup Series season unless he can find victory lane tonight or in the next 5 races to follow and end this season, as we're right to the back of the 97 running P11. This is for P10. If we can get ourselves into the stage points, that would be really beneficial now as the 31 goes around. Cruz, tire failure, caution flies, multiple cars involved, including Josh Berry and the 3 of Austin Hill. And again, it looks like everyone's going to stay out, but Chase Briscoe is actually going to pit from the back of the grid. Everybody else stays on the racetrack as we get ready to go back racing again from P11 behind the 54 of Ty Gibbs. The green flag is back out, and oh, it's going to be close. Look at the lap count we have as we cross the line. It's 23 laps to go, and you can get 23 laps of fuel on a full tank. Chase Briscoe might win this stage if it goes green, but we haven't had any green flag racing here, it feels like, from the Southern 500, so we're going to bank on a caution coming out. But that 98 is so slow tonight that even if he stays out, I mean, I feel like the majority of the field would have to still pit, go a lap down, but I think they would unlap themselves, to be honest. So that is certainly going to be interesting to see how this plays out, but I do expect a caution with 22 laps still remaining in the stage. However, we all have to pit fairly soon. I mean, we are on lap 16. Of course, we've saved a little bit of fuel with the cautions. We could maybe go to lap 25, 26 if we want. That's kind of the area I was looking at this point in time, running about another 10 laps from this point on and then pitting. So Wallach has already driven away from second place. Corey Heim. Does anybody have anything for that 43 car. We haven't had enough green flag racing to really know if anybody has anything, because we just keep jumbling everybody back up, going in for a restart, and it's just everyone gains or loses positions. It's all over the place right now. But Carson Hocevar, I mean, he is the man right now. Up into P2 went our teammate of Hocevar in that number 4. What a turn of events for his season and his career. I mean, he was talking about going to Trackhouse. Of course, that team announced he was going to be racing for them, and then he had a whole clause in his contract that if he made it halfway through the playoffs with his current team, he could veto that contract. Well, Trackhouse didn't see it happening. They announced it early, and now Hocevar's gotten into the point where he can veto his contract, and now it looks like he's staying with this team, which is absolutely fantastic now, because he is lighting the world on fire. As we continue to lap 26, right here's where I'm looking at, okay, do we want to pit or not? And I can see on the track map we've got some cars pitting as I'm putting pressure on William Byron, but we're finally into the top 10, as it looks like that 24 might be pitting this time. The 43 pits, the 11, the 24, the 88, and the 19 all come into the pits. Hocevar as well is going to be in the pit lane, so he had already pitted, I should say, a lap earlier, I think. So now Caruth pits, and I'm going to follow as well. So it stretched it a little bit longer than I was originally planning to, but that's a good thing. So we come in, we're going to take 4 tires. I'm not making any adjustments again. I'm really happy with how the car is handling, so we're just going to leave it the way it is. We're going to come in, get these 4 Goodyear tires on, and hopefully gain some track position here. And look at this, 14.8 seconds. A great stop in the NASCAR Heat 5 game. At least now it'd be a terrible stop IRL, as they're used to 9-10 second pit stops. The 48, nowhere to be found. It looks like a poor pit stop for Caruth, who came in front of me. So that's a free spot we know of. There goes the 88. There goes the 11. I mean, it seems like we're a bit closer to those guys. We definitely gained ground, because here comes Alex Bowman, who was well in front of us when he came into the pits as well. So we've clearly made up some track position, although the 19, I mean, it just downright faster. Look at him, below the doors off of my target number 8 Cadillac, so not exactly what I wanted to see there. But now the 45's actually coming in for a second unscheduled pit stop. Reddick, trouble for a round of 8 driver. He is into the pits for a second time, and now that's going to really ruin his races. We're racing door to door with a lap car of Josh Berry. Close quarters right there, and I'm giving up some serious time. We would eventually get to the inside of him and pass him now. And look at the track map. The 98 leads, but we are still on the lead lap. That's how slow the 98 car is. And it's not only me, it's the majority of the field has already managed to unlap themselves. I just want to point out, as a Suarez fan, I just now found out the news that Trackhouse is dropping him for 2026, and I am devastated. And that really sucks. But we got a video to focus on, and wow. What can I even say? Hopefully Suarez finds a ride. I mean, man, that sucks. But we're continuing to work our way forward, coming to the final lap of the stage, and we're finally in position to score stage points. This is crucial for us right here. Now, the 98 of Chase Briscoe leading through 3 and 4. He's going to do it. Briscoe has enough fuel. He will come down this front straightaway to take the stage to win, as Reddick comes out just behind him right there. Of course, he's a couple laps down. Sawallich P2, Hocevar 3rd, and I mean, eventually we're going to come off of turn 4. There's Gregson in the top 5. There's Alex Bowman and Corey Heim. Then finally, I'm going to cross the line for P7 there. So some crucial stage points for us, and again, not really much playoff presence here in this top 10 for the stage points. It's really interesting to see how this race is playing out differently than a lot of other races usually do. So, of course, that leaves us with 1 stage to go. We all pit for 4 tires and fuel, and Briscoe remains the leader as we gain 2 spots in the pits. So Wallach, one of the dominant cars, just lost 6 spots. That's big. And now it's Hocevar front row, Gregson 3rd, all of Junior Motorsports top 5. Green flags back out. We're racing. And now, as we get back underway, you see the updated playoffs. So because of the drivers swamping around, Hocevar moves into the final 4. Blaney moves out. Because of that, the points kind of change around a little bit. So we're still 27 points above the cut line. Bell drops to 13. Bowman jumps into the final 4 by 2 points. Same for Hocevar. Blaney out by 2. Reddick by 6, who's having a miserable night. Same for Elliott and Zilich, not having good nights. They're 12 back, 15 back respectively. So look at this though. The 98 of Chase Briscoe holding up this entire inside line. I would jump 3 wide and try to screw over my teammate, but two reasons. 3 wide in Darlington, not a great idea into turn 1, and also that's my teammate that I'm trying to not just completely ruin the night of. Gregson, we know if Zilich joins this team next season, Gregson's going to be the guy out at Junior Motorsports now. He had a great run at the Charlotte Roval last episode now. As finally this gets sorted out, we jump 3 wide now with the 98. You can do it a lot better into turn 3, but here comes Christopher Bell, and Carson Hocevar in stage 3 has taken the lead here from the Southern 500. Is he on track to win 3 races in the last 4? Now as Kyle Larson runs through us in turn 1, heavy contact to the outside wall from the number 5, and the damage to the right side of the car, and through goes the 1, the 98, as well as the 67 of Denny Hamlin. As what in the world was that? The 97 as well coming through to the inside. We're going to give up a good 4, 5, 6 positions there as Kyle Larson completely drove through us and has done so much damage to our track position. Let's take a look at what just happened right there. The 5 into turn 1. I mean, you can look at it either way, but when you look at it from this angle, that 5 goes off the white line, moves up into the side of me. I was certainly as well, went down a little bit, but that 5 came right up into the side. Either way, I think you could kind of make an argument for fault on both sides, but I hadn't seen a replay yet, and I'm not happy about what just happened. So I sound like a typical NASCAR driver. I haven't seen a replay, so I can't comment on it. Well, I haven't seen a replay, so I can comment on it. That was on the 5 at this point, in my opinion, and I was now on a mission to get back to Kyle Larson in that number 5 Hendrick Motorsports machine. Here is where the inside of the 1 of Ross Chastain, and back into P13, now carving our way back forward. We've had so many kind of challenges presented to us throughout this race, and now we look to try and get back into the top 10. Byron into the outside wall, tire down, caution out. Just like that. Again, Byron's going to pit, of course, for to repair and get some tires. He is still in this race. Can confirm it's not race over for the 24, but now we will all, the rest of us, stay on the racetrack and get ready to go back racing. So we all move up 1 spot here as we get ready to roll for stage 3 again. Green flag back out, lap 94 of 128. A lot of racing still to go. Outside line here, now into turn 1, not where we really want to be for this restart. 35 laps remaining now with this 1 car of Chastain trying to follow both of his Trackhouse teammates forward. Connor Zilich has found himself back in the top 10, trying to rebound here now as we're just in front of the 23. And the 48 of Carruth, we know he's got some speed. He's been recovering from a bad pit stop in stage 2, and he's just now in towards the top 15 after all of that. Now as we continue to watch that 5 of Kyle Larson, of course, I want to get to the back of that 5 as soon as possible here, but obviously don't have an opportunity right now as we're stuck on the top and cars in front of us. Hamlin drops down to the inside. It's so difficult being on this outside lane, and sure enough, I am just overdriving everything at this point out of frustration. Into the outside wall, down to 15th we go, across the nose of the 48 as I slide up across the track. That allows Kvapil to get to my inside, and I mean, we are bleeding out right now. The 7 goes through, the 99 of Kyle Busch to the inside. I just let him have it so I can finally get an opportunity to get into the inside. And now we can really focus on going forward again. I mean, this has just not been the Darlington Southern 500 that we're accustomed to. I mean, it's just been a wild race now. As we go to the inside of this 99, we'll clear him through 3 off of turn 4. And now we continue to the back of the 7 of Carson Kvapil. And now, as you see him slide up on the exit of the corner, there we go to the inside. Carson Hocevar continues to lead this race, and he has taken control in the final 35 laps and is trying to not look back as here comes actually one of the fastest cars of the night, the 48 to my inside, sliding off that bump again on the exit at 2, and we drop a position, and here comes the 24 now just moments later as we go next level racing on board. That 24 absolutely flying as well. He's on fresher tires than anybody, so not a surprise to lose positions to the 48 and the 24. I expect to be able to pass all these cars ahead of us, but those two specifically, not a surprise at all to lose positions to them. That 24 is carving his way through this field, and if we go green, this kind of plays right into the hands of the 24 of William Byron as I kind of just forced the 1 of Chastain up into the outside wall right there as we hit lap 100. 29 laps to go here from Darlington Southern 500 Crown Jewel weekend now as there's a 45 of Tyler Reddick blowing up in the pit lane. The 45 of Reddick, his race might be over and more damage is done to the number 45 team here tonight. What a disaster for Reddick and 2311 Racing. And now we are closing in on this big clump of cars here. Blaney, Byron, Caruth, SVG, Nick Sanchez, even Kyle Larson's in that group of cars, and eventually Ryan Blaney starts working his way through as it starts to spread out a little bit more. This is my opportunity to really make some headway. So Gibbs down to 15th. There's Connor Zilic working his way in the wrong direction, and we'll look to the inside of that Kubota. Love that paint scheme right there that Paj Designs made for that 00. That Kubota car is so nice and slick. Now as we look to the inside of the 54 of Ty Gibbs here, now side by side on the exit of turn 4 down this front straightaway. This will move us into P14. We're slowly carving our way back forward, but we're not far from having to pit here as well, and it looks like it's going to be another green flag pit stop cycle. Now following Blaney to the inside of the 26 of Nick Sanchez in his Andretti Global Honda Civic, now into turn number 3, wheel to wheel with that 23. Briefly, can we fight back alongside him halfway up his door on the exit of 4? Trying to keep him back, and we would side draft him to stay alongside into turn 1. We'll clear him through the center of the corner, and up into P12 we go. SVG P11 just up in front of us here as we continue to make some gains. Christopher Bell now down to the 10th position here as we come to lap 108, and the green flag pit stops are kicking off, and we're going to be one of the first to join them. I see the 48 come in as well, the 19 in Bowman. We need to find track position, so we're going to come in and make our pit stop now, do the undercut, and see if that can work to our advantage. Get 4 fresh Goodyear tires on this car and push hard to the end of this race. Now William Byron can go about probably another 10 extra laps than everybody else at least, so he is hoping for a caution after all of us make our pit stops, because that just gives him a golden ticket to a potential win. So Byron is hoping for a yellow within the next 10 laps or so, because he won't have to pit. So we are of course hoping for the exact opposite. Please stay green. And Carson Hocevar, I'm sure, is hoping for the same thing. Look at this pit stop. It gets us right to the back of the 48 of Rajan Caruth now, but he is so much faster than us, and look at him just now drive away. So not much we can do right there. Everybody's getting put a lap down from that 24 of William Byron as we're now gaining some track position. That Kyle Busch is a ghost car. We passed Denny Hamlin, and now we're up to P11. Kyle Busch actually a lap down. Not quite sure what happened there, or an extra lap down I should say, because everybody's a lap down right now to the 24 as we continue to make up ground. We passed the 5, we passed the 20, and now we're in front of Kyle Larson into P8 as we head down this back straightaway now. So I guess no payback on this 5 from the looks of it tonight, unless something changes here as we hit lap 113, hoping we can run about 6 or 7 more laps under green to get that 24 into the pits would be ideal as we continue now. And within these final 15 laps from Darlington, Byron hoping for a caution as we continue to work our way through some lap traffic. Chandler, Smith, and Briscoe really caught these guys at a bad time here. They're side by side. We give up so much time right there as now here comes in behind us, I believe that's Denny Hamlin, who's marching his way up here as we go 3 wide to the inside, and we'll complete the passes. Caution, and William Byron is the only one on the lead lap. Everybody has to take a wave around, and Byron can restart from the lead on fresh tires and has essentially been given the golden ticket to win this race. Now let's take a look at what just happened. Eric Jones power slide overcorrects head on into the outside wall, collecting the 3, and as well the 9 of Chase Elliott getting involved as everybody takes a wave around. And now we as well, because of the wave around rules, we have as well, I believe, have a couple lap cars up here in the mix, including the 3 of Austin Hill. This is going to be a complete chaos restart as we're back underway. Less than 10 laps to go, 9 to go to be exact. We're on the lead lap, but the 24 has significantly fresher tires and he's already gone. The 34 that just crashes up here as well. It's a complete mess of cars now as we exit turn 2 down this back straightaway to the inside of the 48 of Caruth. Alex Bowman, playoff competitor in this round of 8 right here as well. We'll look to the inside of him. There's Sawallich. There's Austin Hill, who's a lap down in 26. Now we'll try to get past him here going into turn number 1, exiting 4 up into the top 5 for the first time tonight in the Southern 500. The 3 throws a bit of a block on us. Now we're 3 wide into turn 1. We're gonna sail it off into the corner, lean on the 3, contact, he slides and saves it. Now the 3 not making life easy. We clear him on the exit of 2 just about. He tries to fight back, doesn't have enough. Up into P6 now after Sawallich gets clear on the exit of the corner now, and here comes Alex Bowman again to try and fight back. We slide up the track. Here comes the 19. Unfortunately, all these guys have about a lap or two fresher tires than myself, which is also not ideal at the end of this race now. And here comes as well Denny Hamlin to my inside. Byron continues to run away. We had to check up, and here comes Kyle Larson now to the back, and we're struggling on a few lap older tires. And now the 5, I throw a bit of a block into turn 3, but I don't know if I can just keep the car planted to keep him behind, and sure enough I can't. Larson through, and suddenly my mindset starts to change. Larson gets alongside and into turn 1. 4 laps to go. Larson's gonna get the clear and take over position number 8, but how long will he hold it now, as I got a mirror full of Rajah Caruth approaching 2 laps to go. Hendrick Motorsports leads. Hendrick Motorsports Kyle Larson did me wrong earlier, as we're gonna get right to the back. We lay the bumper to the 5. He slides into the wall. He bounces off. We make contact. Here comes Caruth. Larson's teammate gonna back him up and drive right through me. He's gonna put both of us up into the outside wall. Larson gets the short end of the stick. We slam the 48 down the front straightaway into turn 1. Now he slides into turn 1, uses the wall to stabilize, gets himself back going. We clear him through 1 and 2, and it's all out war breaking out between myself and Hendrick Motorsports now, as Caruth saw what I did to the 5. He tried to back up his teammate into turn 3. White flag is waving for the 24 of William Byron, as Hocevar's in P2, and the 48 to my inside. We can't hold him back. He's at a top 3 car just about all night. 1 lap to go. Caruth takes the spot. Larson's going to be fuming. The Hendrick Motorsports camp is probably going to be fuming in general now, as we followed the 48 through 1 and 2. Now William Byron down the back straightaway. He was eliminated from the round of 12 after a disaster couple of races, and it's going to be unfortunate because he was looking at a ride to the final 4 with this win right here that he gets in Darlington. Carson Hocevar P2. He continues his hot streak, as we'll come through to finish just inside the top 10. P9. Who would have thought we would finish P9 after such a mess of a race? Hocevar P2, Sawalich, Gregson-Heim top 5. Not many round of 8 drivers in the top 10 again. As you see the rest of the finishing order, what a race, what a mess with Hendrick Motorsports and Kyle Larson, the 48 as well. I mean, tempers are flaring, and I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what Rick Hendrick has to say about that one. And now we can focus on the playoff grid. The points changed a lot throughout tonight, with just the struggles some had and the great nights some had. So we still end up 33 points above the cut line. So, you know, not great, but certainly not bad, but a lot better than everybody else. Christopher Bell and Hocevar are 15 points above the cut line. Hocevar came in seed 7, comes out second. Tied for second, I should say. Alex Bowman, the last one in, by currently 11 points over Ryan Blaney. Zilich out by 25. Elliott by 27. Reddick, of course, with the disaster of a night he had, 36 back. He pretty well has to look at winning. Chase Elliott can rely on kind of his expertise at road racing, and as well Martinsville. I think 27 points is doable for him. Zilich can definitely make up a lot of points in Watkins Glen. Ryan Blaney could go either way. It's going to be interesting. It's certainly going to be interesting. I'm very excited to see how this is going to go over the next 2 races. I'm confident in our ability. I feel very confident that we are going to be able to get into the Final 4, especially after surviving Darlington. So I'll see you guys in the next one from Watkins Glen. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.